You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
All right back at it. Ka-Pow is here once again with a podcast for you to enjoy. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. What was that robot voice?
I don't know.
A weird voice.
We've done 100 and some of these. There's no more to do.
Switch it up.
175.
You're worn out from Mothman.
I've been Mothmaned. Yeah, I'm back from Mothman Festival 2019. Went last weekend to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's always the third weekend of September. It's always 95 degrees for some reason, but a beautiful fall festival where we celebrate creepy crawlies and everyone is sunburned and miserable.
Yeah, it's not quite fall.
Not yet. I mean, technically it is, but it doesn't feel that way.
If you've never been, Point Pleasant is a tiny little town on the river. Has just a main street, and then across the street it has a statue of the Mothman right in the town square. It has the Mothman Museum. Since last year, a couple new businesses had opened. There's like a little bakery. There's a little like antique thrift store kind of thing. So I really think this festival kind of like
put them on the map.
It's like the year, people travel there from well across the country. There's only one hotel in city limits. So I saw some people stayed in Parkersburg in a hotel and drove down there. So yeah, it fills up Gallipolis and all the little towns around there. People just descend on this town. And it's a pretty incredible mix of people. It's, we're from Marietta, Ohio. We're used to the Sternwheel Festival. Mm-hmm. They shut down a couple streets and it's like a street fair. You have funnel cakes and all that stuff. And it's the same sort of deal.
Every weekend.
Right.
Every weekend.
But I think I would say there's more people at this thing than there are even at Sternwheel, which is our biggest thing of the year in a town that's bigger than Point Pleasant. But we just had to laugh at the variety of people as well, because like I said, it's just like a street fair. It's just your normal people who live there, people from the area, just going out and hanging out, getting French fries, listening to bands. And then there's like this contingent of like horror fans. So it's the people in Misfits t-shirts and Rob Zombie t-shirts and tattoos and gauges in their ears. They were like the hardcore horror buffs. And then this is where the Fallout game, the most recent one, is taking place. So there's a ton of gamer nerds who are really into the Fallout stuff and they've cosplay as these Fallout characters. And then there's like it's what was the other type of person?
West Virginian.
Oh, like you said, the cosplayers and the nerd, like the people who are into this, into Bigfoot, into Mothman, right. Like the people who have like notebooks of evidence and who are like really into this, which seems like the smallest portion of the people. So I was laughing. I was like, this is kind of like they scheduled the West Virginia Interstate Fair, Comic Con, and Ozfest all in the same weekend in the same town, because it's just and we all just got off the buses together and we all just mingled and ate funnel cakes.
I honestly don't know anything about Mothman. Like I feel like I saw the Richard Gere movie,
Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, but I don't remember. It's all just mumbo jumbo to me.
Well, it was 1966. How far do we want to get into this?
Yeah, get into it, baby.
People started seeing something in the sky.
A Mothman.
And it
had red eyes.
It was soon after the Batman TV show, so people saw some creature, and it just got called Mothman.
Yeah,
because Batman was in the public consciousness, and sightings happened for like a year. Lots and like hundreds of people saw whatever it was. Big red glowing eyes, wings you'd see it out windows, looking in your house. It would be following your car, and then there were all kind of UFO sightings, and a whole bunch of like the Men in Black started showing up. People saw these weird guys in suits just hanging around town that were strangers they'd never seen before. So there was a year of this stuff. So around Christmas the following year, the Silver Bridge collapsed. The bridge between Point Pleasant and Gallipolis.
Okay.
I think 60-some people died. It was right before Christmas.
What?
And it was like, then it became, were we being warned by the Mothman? Was it some otherworldly warning? Did he cause it? So that it's... that the tragedy of the bridge collapse has been tied to this weird, supernatural thing, and obviously nothing's ever been solved. So the Mothman Prophecies is about the guy who wrote the book. John Keel wrote the Mothman Prophecies book, and he's all about other dimensions, and he went into the real metaphysical stuff. I think the movie dialed that back a little bit, but yeah, the movie helped spur on the popularity. The museum down there has props from the movie. It has all the old newspaper clippings and a bunch of books. So there, and again, it's a public domain thing. So it's Mothman cookies and Mothman bakery and Mothman everything down there is hey, it's the Mothman muffler and all. It's everything.
Mothman is I'm about to rip you guys up.
Mothman's so overplayed.
I can't believe you go there because one of these years they're gonna freak. Mothman is just gonna have had it.
And his moth attorneys are going to show up. I need a piece of all this.
yeah. He's that's going to be, oh, you're trying to sell this here? Wow.
So, some of it is, there are vendors doing cheap plastic, alien light up night lights and stuff. But most of the people there are artists, people who make jewelry, people like wood carvings, authors who have written books about the paranormal, and they do, you can go in and listen to speakers. They do speakers and things. So there's just a lot of stuff to see and a ton of stuff to buy. I get a ton of food vendors. I got to meet a few of the people. I know my friend Gary Jabot is from down there. He was a kid in the 60s when this happened. He remembers it. So he's done a lot of the posters and t-shirt designs. Back when the festival was way smaller, he was one of the main.
It wasn't as big big as it is now until that movie came out, right? Yeah.
So he's one of the main designers. His T-shirt design was the official Mothman T-shirt. So cool. I got to see Gary. He used to be part of our Oval group, the Ohio Valley Artists League. He would come up and hang out with his buddy Terrence Hanley. Got to meet him again. I saw this guy George who does the Monsterologist. He's on Facebook under Monsterologist. He does stickers and patches and buttons, and they're just really cool designs. He does it looks like the NASA logo, but it's UFOologist and stuff, and the Nessie the Nessie dive team or whatever. So it's all the different cryptids and things, and he is just busy all weekend.
I bet.
I met a couple of podcasters. They do the Moth Boys podcast about cryptids, conspiracies, and the unknown. I think they're from New York. They're from the Buffalo area. They look like they were having the best time of anyone there. They seem to be having fun all weekend. But I introduced myself and said, I also do a podcast. So he gave me a sticker. So I've got a Moth Boys sticker.
Did you give him a magnet?
Yeah.
I gave him a flyer.
Oh.
No magnet. He's going to put that flyer on his fridge. It's just going to fall on the
Right.
So I've listened to a couple of their episodes. They're pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. There's some information they give, but they also don't take it 100% seriously. So that's a lot of laughs too. So we had a good weekend. We debuted my new comic, Wish Upon a Feather, from So Pro Comics. Debuted that for the first time anywhere.
What's that about?
It's a young girl, and she wishes she could fly. And she realizes maybe sometimes
wishes come true.
Wishes the grass isn't always greener.
Oh, maybe it's not so great to fly. Right. Maybe flying's terrifying.
Artist, Marietta College graduate Sarah Duffy. It's her first ever comic artwork. I think she knocked it out of the park. It's a kind of a fantasy story, a bit of a fairy tale. It's written for younger readers, so I'm proud of it. SoProComics.com. And we also got approached, and I don't want to say too much about it because nothing's really happened, but a museum asked if we did wholesale on the Bigfoot book because they carry a lot of Bigfoot merchandise. So my comic Bluff Creek might end up in a Bigfoot museum gift shop.
OMG.
Where is this gift?
If it happens,
you just kind of see it out of the corner of your eye.
Nobody's got a good photo of it.
Nobody's actually. You just gotta stumble onto it.
And you wouldn't believe me even if I told you that.
If I told you where that was, you would believe it. Well, I have an anecdote also. I shared a picture to you guys a couple months ago about it, and I've been haunted by it ever since. Speaking of Bigfoot, I drive home every morning the same route. You know they're doing some road work up here by us.
Yeah, my wife.
Cliff and I, for those that don't know, Cliff and I live like there's
doors.
one house between us.
2 doors away.
And I need to buy that.
You really do.
You really should.
Tell me if
It's a nice house. It's got a pool.
Yeah.
It's nicer than either of our houses. But, well, Cliff's got a pool. Anyway.
Yeah, I know about
some.
Yeah, my wife works for.
Yeah. So anyway, they're doing some work. Luckily, that's good news for me, actually. Because I'm going to have to take a different route home. I was going to anyway, but now I don't have to feel like a scaredy pants. I have to do it because there's road work. Because the way I come home, do you know what I'm talking about when I shared you a picture a few weeks ago? When I come home, I drive down this one road that tees with an intersection, and I look into someone's yard. And back on, there's like a 10-foot wide stretch of yard that goes to the back of their house.
Is this the Halloween house that decorates?
No.
No,
This is just a normal house, except for one thing. Way back, set in their yard. Like if it was in the front of the yard, it wouldn't be as creepy. I think they know what they're doing. But way back in their yard, almost at the back of their house, is a silhouette of Bigfoot.
Okay, I do remember the picture.
And when I drive home at 6:30 in the morning, it's still dark out, and my headlights hit, and all I see, it's just a black piece. They've just got a cutout painted black.
Yeah.
And every day I go, huh. Every day I go, huh. I can't stop it. It always freaks me out. I don't know what to do. So I was like, I'm going to have to change.
You're going to have to steal it.
I didn't have a way to solve it except that now they're doing road work and I can't go that way home anymore for the next couple months. So I'm pretty excited about it.
We also had a guy try to drive through the crowd.
What?
Again, imagine like Sternville Festival, someone trying to turn onto the street.
Oh,
like some old man with a dog in the front of his truck was like going, like if you had to drive through there, you'd go like 2 miles an hour. He was trying to go like 10, and people were hitting his hood and slamming it. It's like, you almost hit my granddaughter.
Right.
He's like, well, get out of the street. He's like, it's not a street today. And he was like, I live right up there. I get home. Dude, you can't drive this way. There are barriers everywhere. There are police cars parked crooked. Anyway.
Right.
But, we had a couple good... a little kid wearing an Ash costume.
Right.
From the Evil Dead. He had the S-Mart tag and a blue shirt. I was like, oh, that's a cool costume. And he goes, yeah, Mom made me leave my chainsaw in the car. It's like, I like this kid.
Freaking mom.
And then one kid, we said, all our comics are all ages. And he goes, all ages comics? Even for 7? I was like, I don't know, 7. Let me check the inventory, see if we got anything for 7. But the best one was a little kid. It's so weird. It's always very good selling. People are excited to spend money, and it's comic books aren't the majority. It's not like a Comic Con. Like there aren't that many comic books there, so it's kind of a novelty, especially all ages books because there's a ton of families there. So, but the weird thing is, we'll have parents come up like, "Oh, comics! Why don't you pick one out? Pick one you like." Nah, and the kids will say no. It's like normally you have to. Please, parent, buy this for your kid. But the parents are ready to buy. Kid's like, nah, not interested.
He's like, I got a chainsaw in the car. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Like I saw this wooden
Reed? What's that?
Yeah, so at least 5 times we had a sale, and the kid's like, no thanks, not into it. But the one little kid, he seemed a little bit like, eh. And we go through and pitch all the books. Oh, this one, there's a couple guys who fight zombies. He goes like, whoa, hold on, zombies? It's like, oh yeah, this one's about zombies. I was talking to the parents. That's about writing. He's like, you wrote this? I was like, oh yeah, I wrote that one. You are the coolest guy I've ever met. I was like, oh, I know you're young. You haven't met a lot of people, but I will take it, young man.
Wow.
So, good times, fun times, getting our name of So Pro Comics out there. And had some, obviously, Ka-Pow flyers as well. Handed some of those
No
out.
magnets. Sorry,
No
people.
magnets.
Sorry, people with metal
Just
things.
too many people. If we started handing out magnets, there would have been a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have been able to hand it.
We probably would have got arrested for inciting a riot.
Right.
How many people go to this thing?
I don't even know how to...
Is there an official counter?
There might be, but it's a lot.
It's probably the guy in the car. He was
Yeah,
probably,
enough that if somebody just pulled on the street, somebody could get hit.
Yeah.
And they had changed the route this year, so the people, they have a shuttle. They park people a couple miles away and bring a shuttle in, and the shuttle led off like a block from our booth. So everyone who got off the shuttle had to walk past our booth. Many of them ignoring us completely, but everyone had to at least walk past.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Huh. Okay.
All right, what
do we got in store this week?
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Sounds like we got Star Wars.
Yeah, you're going to tell us all about Triple Force Friday, right?
Yeah, it's coming up this week. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was last week.
Sometime.
I don't know when this came out.
Is it Friday, though?
It's on a Friday.
Okay.
But
probably
I'm off
Thursday.
Thursday night, so
Yeah,
I might
Thursday
actually
night.
go to it. So
Yeah.
it's Thursday night, October 3rd,
Okay.
going into October 4th. So, what? You look excited.
Don't dress like a clown.
I know. I'm going to try not to dress like a clown. I had it all planned to dress like a clown all week, but now the movie theater's against it, and it has nothing to do with Force Friday.
Yeah,
So,
Walmart will probably frown on that.
I did think my son is currently working at Walmart. It's and he doesn't get off till 11 or so. I may not actually have to leave the house for Triple Force Friday.
Nice.
Just hide all those.
If I just say, if you come home before Triple Force Friday, the door's going to be locked, so you might as well stay there. Send me pictures. Anyway, this is where they come out with a lot of toys and things.
Yeah, merch.
Pre the movie, they've done it the last several years, and so you might get some hints about things that are going to happen in the movie. Star Wars is one of the things that, more than any other franchise, you're going to get some kind of hint.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it lost a little something with Toys R Us coming out.
Yeah, there's no Toys R Us.
So now you got to go to Target or Walmart or someplace like that. But
we got Walmart's here, so there is going to be some stuff. There's some Disney Store stuff that we won't have access to. Even Gap has things.
there's some Lego products probably.
Oh yeah, there's definitely is, and I'll tell you about them here. There's going to be a lot of figures. There's Black Series figures. Is probably the thing
Those are really popular.
Yeah. I mean, I try. I don't collect them because there's too many of them. But I'm not a huge figure guy. I like a few things, but it could get out of hand. But they're gonna have things from The Mandalorian, Rise of Skywalker, and what's the third thing in the triple? Oh, the game Fallen Sun. I think it is the video game. So they've got figures for that guy. They got like a Jawa. They got the Mandalorian. Different droids. They have that red Stormtrooper.
Yeah, the Sith Trooper.
Yeah. And then
They got C-3PO with red eyes. Wonder. I bet they do.
I don't know.
It's probably a new figure coming out.
They got
Like Brandon Routh variant.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah. What was the other thing with the red?
I think that was Patreon content we were talking about.
I'll have to pay $1 for that.
There's a new droid sidekick in the movie.
Yeah, BB-8 has a sidekick. This little, it's like a one-wheeled little white and green guy. It's kind of
Dio.
Dio.
So that will be very popular.
Ride the tiger!
Yes. Yeah. Now you got me thinking of Dio. Sorry, that screeched the brakes.
You broke him.
Holy diver! Anyway, I couldn't think of holy diver. Okay, anyway, I'm assuming there's going to be like a remote control Dio of some sort.
Yeah, probably so.
I think I heard something about you control with your iPhone or iPad and things. There's going to be an AT-ST Raider from Mandalorian. It's got like the red leg and stuff. It's kind of cool looking. There's going to be Funko Pops.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Another Kylo Ren helmet where it's put back together.
Yeah, it's all welded back together.
There's Legos, like you said. There's the Pisana Speeder Chase, where I assume that's where like you see Rey getting run down in the trailer. I think it has something to do with that. There's going to be Kylo Ren Shuttle, a Resistance Y-Wing that has a bunch of figures, including, I think this is Carrie, what's her face? Felicity?
Oh, yeah.
Carrie Russell?
Yeah.
Zori Bliss.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is
a helmet with
like
a purple
the gold helmet?
Yeah, that's her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a red suit. It comes with her little Lego figure and a Poe Dameron, First Order Stormtrooper, Astromech droid, and a Dio. So that's going to be a popular.
That's cool. They're going to have a Y-wing. That's something,
I don't know whether that's going to be a ship that she just happens to be on in the movie, or or what, but usually that is indicative of something that will happen in the movie.
Yeah.
They probably ride on one.
Well, I didn't even really think about that. Like, the newer movies, we have an X-Wing, and we saw, like, in The Last Jedi, they had those bombers, but we haven't really... I guess we saw A-Wings in there, too, didn't we?
There's going to be... They're releasing an A-Wing set also.
We haven't seen, like, the B-Wing or the Y-Wing yet, though.
They're releasing a Resistance A-Wing and another Millennium Falcon for the 1 millionth time. But since they went back to the different dish, now this one goes back to the circle dish.
Oh, really?
Well, so it's...
Okay.
Then there's a Lego version of the Mandalorian at ST. Some cars, Hot Wheels versions of Star Wars things. Things like that. Socks and such. There's a gold Funko Pop set at Walmart. A blanket with the Mandalorian on it. A lunchbox. A cup. Water bottle. iPhone case. Different things like that. So, a lot of stuff. Yeah,
because The Mandalorian will be out before the series will come out on Disney Plus before the actual Rise of Skywalker. Right.
So people will be hyped for that. A lot of stuff, I guess the coolest things to me are the Legos and the figures, but I probably won't get anything. I'll probably just have Nick snap some pics of stuff and see if there's anything cool. But I don't predict it going like it did 2 years ago when not 2 years ago, whenever Force Awakens came out.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It was a huge deal, and stuff sold out right away.
Well, I think it was a Target exclusive, but they came out with that retro collection where they basically recreated the original 77 toys, and like you can't find them. Like, they were bought up. They did a Tarkin that came with a game. But yeah, it was a big hit. So, the market is definitely still out there for this stuff.
Oh, yeah. The quality of these things are so good now.
Yeah, they're pretty accurate, especially those Black Series. So
the Mandalorian figure looks pretty cool. With that Boba Fett style stuff.
I just got the catalog for all the comics that are coming out in December, and we already knew they were going to do a Rise of Skywalker prequel comic, but there's a couple more things coming out. Obviously, tying into the movie and trying to get the hype train. It up. But the biggest one was a 4-issue series written by Charles Soule, The Rise of Kylo Ren. So we're getting, basically, it says it's going to become the origin story of Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, which people have been waiting for 2 movies to figure out who these Knights of Ren characters are.
But I feel like I heard a quote or something saying where they were like, "You're not gonna like this."
So it seems like if it's that important, the comics are canon, they're official, but a small fraction of people read the comic. So
Yeah.
I don't know that this is going to be the payoff people were expecting.
Yeah. I saw too. John Favreau mentioned that he would love to do a Christmas special
Yeah.
on Disney Plus.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I would love him to do a Christmas special.
Do you like the Christmas special?
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so awful. But
I mean,
it's
I've watched like the Boba Fett stuff, the cartoonish thing.
Yeah.
And,
it has like if you do a deep dive into like the making of it, it's got a wild story about all these different people that worked on it and how it became such a horrible piece of TV history. But I don't know. It has this weird.
there's a charm.
There is. It's of its time.
Right. And I think as much as it failed, I'm kind of surprised. Like it must have been so terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I mean, like Harvey
Like I
Korman
went back and watched the 9 minutes or so with Boba Fett and things. It wasn't that bad.
I've seen the whole thing. It's pretty bad.
Anyway,
the
I could
Wookiee
see
stuff
that
is
them
weird.
recapturing using that charm. If they could do a much better job.
Right.
Now, I would be psyched for a Star Wars.
Yes. Oh, I definitely would. Yeah.
But this, like when I said that infamous line, "It's just Star Wars,"
Right. Oh, it is.
trademark.
Like
This
the
is what I'm
floating
referring
things.
to. Like, we've already had the Christmas special. We've already kind of done something silly and ridiculous. Like, take chances. Do something different. Do something fun or out there. Try new things. It's not...
No, it's a precious property that we can't do that. I agree. Do whatever.
And then we had...
Good will stick.
I don't know what this was.
Whatever's good. Like a magnet will stick. A flyer will fall to the ground.
Yeah, and we hope there are more magnets than flyers in the world out there. So
Be a
what Ka-Pow says, be a magnet, everybody. To positivity. Positive electrons. I don't know how magnets work. I assume it's electrons.
Clearly, you proved that. Right?
I assume it's got something to do with electrons.
Yeah, the magnets are just made of electrons.
Sounds good to me. I'm not going to check it out. So what's this news with Kevin Feige and Star Wars? Was it official or just a rumor?
I think
it's official.
Yeah, I think it's pretty official.
He's got something to do with a movie. He's a huge Star Wars nerd. Like,
He's not busy enough running the Marvel empire. He's
it's
got to
like
dip his toes over
Marvel
there.
is on like autopilot
are you
at this point.
punching his clock? Do you know when he has to be somewhere? Kevin Feige.
No,
can
I
do
demand
what
a
the heck he
crossover
wants.
between both properties.
Oh, okay. He's a huge Star Wars nerd. Like, it's not talked about a lot, but like the whole time he's doing press for
How original! A guy who loves Star Wars.
yeah, the whole time he does all this press for Marvel, he walks around in Star Wars clothes.
Yeah.
Like he loves Star Wars, so it's not a stretch for him to have something to do with it.
And I'm not one of those Star Wars fans that it's got to come from George. If it doesn't come from George, it's crap. I love the fact that we have new people creating new things in Star Wars. It gets me excited. I want to see some different stuff.
I will trade you a Feige for a Filoni straight up.
Straight up.
Dave Filoni is pretty great. I mean, come on.
Get him into the Marvel world.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys got fantasy Star Wars going on.
So we don't
How
know
much for a
anything.
Kennedy?
No one knows anything, but there's been a whole bunch of articles written about it. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But it sounds like he really is having something to do with it. Whether it's there's a rumor he has an actor in mind that's already, agreed with him that they're going to do whatever character it is he's focused on, and whether he comes up with his own movie and then blends them into whatever universe anyone else is creating. I don't know. It sounds like there's multiple Star Wars things going on between the Game of Thrones guys, Rian Johnson, Kevin Feige.
We're still waiting on JJ's last movie to come out.
Yeah. Guess what? I'm hyped. Bring it
me
on.
too.
Give me all of it because one of them's going to be a magnet.
And it's gonna stick.
Yeah, and I'm going to be like, that's the stuff right there.
Yeah.
So I'm psyched. The more the better. I'm not going to live forever.
That's right.
Get it out there. Let's start making this stuff.
Yeah, the last thing, just I don't know how much it officially has to do with Star Wars, but there was a shake-up.
Shoehorn it in there.
There was a shake-up with the Disney company.
Here we go. It's Disney.
And,
it's close enough.
well, Bob Chapek has been...
That's all you had to say.
Had yet, Bob. Bob Chapek is getting a, quote, dink-dink promotion.
Get that drop. Quote dink dink.
Dink dink, that's the
I don't know
fingers.
what that. No,
Oh.
never. No.
Yes.
Don't you even act like that's
For
a
an
thing.
audio,
Yeah, it's
how are we going to hear his fingers?
But he acted like that's something people say.
it is something people say.
What people say, dink dink.
Professional podcasters.
Those are quadruple hyphens.
I've never met him.
But yeah, Bob Chapek is being promoted to a new position. He's no longer going to be president over Walt Disney World. They're bringing
As
someone
we
in.
all knew he was.
Yeah. Well, there's,
Yeah.
some people got fired over this whole Star Wars Galaxy's Edge thing, and the fact that it's not bringing in the crowds.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, some pretty high up executives hit the
What's wrong with old
hit
K-Pax?
the street.
What did you do wrong?
Chapek came K-Pax. Chapek came from merchandising. He was a product guy.
Yeah. Came from Dick Dick. Merchandising.
Exactly.
Shouldn't it be Dink merchandising
Dink. Yeah.
or Dink Dink merchandising Dink Dink?
That would be that would be the official.
Man. I know the episode title.
But Chapek came from merchandising. It wasn't a guy everybody approved of immediately to take over.
Nobody ran it by me.
In the theme park operation standpoint. So he's going away to another position that sounds kind of phony. They've made up to get him out of Walt Disney World. They're bringing someone else in from Disneyland to run the Florida parks. But we lost several executives that were pretty high up over the lack of attendance in Galaxy's Edge in California and Florida.
Looked pretty crowded to me.
Well, I think they were expecting...
yeah. I just saw a video today I watched from this past week of Florida. It looks pretty roomy.
Yeah, like they have a virtual queue system set into place that they thought they were going to need, and it's rarely been used because the crowd hasn't been there. Now, part of that too, you have
and that all falls squarely on Chris Pick's shoulder.
Chris fixed it. Apex.
Yeah.
Part of that is their own fault though, where AP holders, especially in California, were blacked out, so they couldn't go to the parks using their annual pass. Okay, because they expected all this huge influx of day guests, and the same things happened in Florida. Not as much, but the same things kind of happened where people got scared away because they said, "Oh, the crowds are going to be huge," and nobody wanted. A lot of people did not want to deal with that.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Are they going to cut prices? Is that? I'm sure that's
Actually,
not an option.
Actually, like the drink prices at Oga's Cantina have went up. And this week,
Crispix.
Also, let's just leave it at that. Well, that's official. We know that. So,
what's your countdown? How many days?
I am at
On the record,
71
we
days.
all really desperately want to go, and
71
Cliff actually
days.
is going. 71 days from now.
Yeah.
So
They'll have it all figured out before you.
I'm expecting
I'm sure.
you to have a nice, roomy, good trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whoever I saw I saw where they don't have the fireworks over the Millennium Falcon and stuff there at Orlando.
No. Well, yeah. In
I was just
California,
saying-
you can see the
They were like, that was a
nighttime.
huge picture opportunity. Like when the fireworks go off, you can stand in front of the Millennium Falcon, and they're all standing with their lightsabers. I'm like, that's the shot.
Yeah.
They're like, they don't do that at Orlando.
Yeah, it's positioning of where it is in the park, and then being in Florida and Hollywood Studios. Now they do have a great Star Wars show, nighttime projection show on the Chinese Theater that I have shared in the past on our Facebook page. But yeah, because Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is in the back of the park, you don't get that same effect.
Don't spoil the magic. I thought it was the same park and that you just enter it from
No.
either California or Florida.
No.
What?
Learn something new.
That segment went way longer than I ever anticipated.
Yeah, that's enough about Bob Cruikshank. Let's go to TV.
Oh, Dolores.
What the hell is a sticky maple?
Run, Barry, run! That's what I do. I dream, and I know things.
Go get him, Supergirl.
Well, what this guy look like, anyways?
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Uh-huh. In what way?
Oh, just in a general kind of way.
Exterminate!
Little pig, let me in.
These violent delights have violent ends.
That's what she said.
Movie.
All right. Who watched the Emmys?
Nope.
No? Nobody?
No. I
Just
saw
me?
Game of Thrones won a bunch of stuff.
I was very happy with the winners,
Okay.
but I didn't watch because I heard it was terrible.
From who?
People that watched it, critics that watched it.
Critics.
Dink,
said there
dink.
was- they
Critics
said there
that
was, they
watched
said
it.
there was
Dink,
no
dink.
host, and it didn't work like the Oscars. They said they would like announce all the. Well, you saw it. You tell me how
Yeah,
great
I
it was.
actually thought it was pretty good. It came in right on time, which is they're so worried about the time for these things. Who cares?
I can relate.
But it came in right on time, and it had no hosts. But it sort of, the writing wasn't bad. Normally, it is so strained, the awkward banter and all that stuff. It was pretty well written, and had Thomas Lennon, if you know the
Right.
comedian. He was kind of the MC of the
They
night.
did
so,
say that was like the only good thing.
So when they
was the
announced the
voiceover.
winner, he would say, "Oh, this person is from give their hometown," or make a little joke, and like he was actually pretty funny. Like these things normally you kind of fall asleep till you hear the winner, but I thought it was a pretty good.
I was super happy with the
Broadcast,
winners.
yeah, so-
Fleabag, I watched all that.
I'd heard how good it is, but I'd never seen it. So
She's great.
on the comedy side of things, Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress both went to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels, Tony Shalhoub and Alex Borstein.
Yeah. Good show.
The lead actor went to Bill Hader and Barry, the HBO show.
Amazing show.
Which I caught the first season. I haven't watched the second
You
season.
haven't seen the
yet.
second season yet? Let's spoil it right now, Cliff.
I don't watch this show.
You don't watch freaking Barry?
No.
He's an Emmy winner, Cliff.
Apparently.
Got Henry Winkler on it.
Does it?
I heard he's got a
Fun?
great theme song.
Yeah. I wouldn't know it.
What night's it on?
It jumps,
Sunday,
it jumps
Monday,
the shark in the second
Happy
season.
Day, is
It burns down
Tuesday,
Arnold's in the
Wednesday?
second season.
Happy Days.
It's on Sunday, like every other good show.
Lead actress in a comedy series, Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag, also won writing and outstanding comedy series, Fleabag.
You know
So this
her,
is a
Cliff.
British
She's in Solo.
British show from the BBC. Good,
Yeah,
award worthy.
it's good.
Okay.
She's good. It's known for the hot priest. Basically,
Okay.
he's just a priest that isn't fugly.
Wow.
It just felt to me a little bit like they do every year. There's some hot new show,
Yeah.
like Ms. Maisel or some of these,
Yeah.
where they come out, they're buzzworthy, they get a ton of awards, and then like they might run 5 or 6 more seasons, but they never quite get all these awards again.
There's a bit in that show like where what's her name? You like? I like. She's gonna be. Why can't I remember?
Oh yeah,
She's gonna be in The Crown.
The Favorite and The Crown.
Yes, her also. Olivia Colman.
Coleman.
She's in there, but there's a bit in that show where Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I think Olivia Colman is like her stepmom, or I think, and she steals a golden statue from her early on in the series. And it just felt like, did you know you were going to win the Emmy? Like, it was like a setup, because it was like such a great payoff when she won. She's sitting there with all these Emmys, smoking a cigarette that night. And it's just like, I didn't have to steal this one, you know? It's like, gosh, you did that on purpose, didn't you? You know?
That's the long con.
It was. It really felt like it.
All right, outstanding variety sketch series went to Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Seems, I don't know that.
What else is there?
That never seems to.
Who else was nominated?
Yeah, I don't know who they're
But
up
that's
against.
Saturday Night Live is always kind of the punching bag. It's like all stale old comedy. That's not like the hip award
I don't know what else
choice.
there could be, though.
Although, the Emmys is known for being hip. Outstanding reality competition program was RuPaul's Drag Race,
Yeah.
Okay.
beating out Big Brother and The Amazing
I don't
Race
see
and all
that.
those things. Survivor. Outstanding variety talk series went to Last Week Tonight, which I think John Oliver's won that award.
Yeah, ever since he started.
Great show.
Okay, now limited series or movies, which these are all these weird cable or streaming things that half America has never heard
Weird
of.
things.
So, best supporting actor was Ben Whishaw from A Very English Scandal.
Never saw it.
Don't know anything about it. Supporting actress was Patricia Arquette in The Act.
Yeah, it's that thing where she pretends her kid's sick. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu.
Outstanding lead actor, Jarrell Jerome from When They See Us, which was the Central Park 5 movie that I enjoyed, and he was phenomenal. Everyone in that was good, but yeah, he probably, if anyone was going to win something, he probably deserved it. Lead actress, Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon.
I watched most of that series, but it didn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But she gave an incredible speech. I watched.
This was what everyone was talking about the next day.
She was a great speech.
Yeah, it just seemed really memorized and poised. Like
she was. It's almost like she has delivered, dramatic performances before. She did a great job.
I always wonder about actors who get out there and stumble around and can't deliver.
Like, what's your problem?
There's like one joke on the teleprompter and they blow it.
Yeah,
it's like, aren't you an actor? You're
like, can you imagine what it's like to work with them?
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a really good speech.
Outstanding TV movie was the Black Mirror Choose Your Own Adventure Bandersnatch,
which I thought was a terrible idea to give that an award.
I kind of
for innovation, maybe. What was the award for?
Best TV movie.
No, that's stupid. I don't know what else it could have been. What it was up against, but that was. That shouldn't have got an award.
It seemed to just be you were the cleverest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Outstanding Limited Series went to Chernobyl, which it won several of the writing awards. Directing
all
awards.
I have heard is rave about that.
It's really good.
I've watched half of it, and it's just so painful to watch.
It is.
It's hard to watch.
It's so drab and
that's just it. That's why I have trouble getting through it. It ain't fun. Chernobyl was not a good time.
Hot take.
Listen again, not be controversial. All right, Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama. Now we're to the dramas. Supporting Actor, Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's won that a million times.
Not his first rodeo there. So I know the last season was kind of down. Was he still kind of the highlight of this last season? Or
he was the same.
He was fine.
He didn't do anything stupendous. He's just
good enough
for supporting.
You've won once, you might as well win again.
So Supporting Actress went to Julia Garner from Ozark.
Which we all watched. Did you watch Ozark?
Yeah, and we've said, like...
She's good in that.
That show, yeah, it's good, but I'm watching it for her.
Right, she's great.
Yeah, she's the best part of that show. And side note, Jason Bateman won for directing a drama series. And the camera cut to him, and he made the perfect Jason Bateman face, if you were watching. Like, he did the eyebrow thing, like, me? Really? Yeah. And it was a perfect performance of, like underwhelmed surprise. Of like, oh, wow. Okay.
Well, the reason he won, though... is 3 of the other nominees were Game of Thrones episodes, so they all would have split. Mm-hmm. You know?
That happens on a lot of these, for especially like supporting actor.
Not anything against him.
Yeah, just the most of them are from the 1 or 2 shows. Lead actress in a drama went to Jodie Comer from Killing Eve.
Am I the only one that watched that?
Yes,
it's great. The first season especially, but her and Sandra Oh. And she is just great. She is Jodie Comer's. First off, she's a knockout.
That's what I've heard. She's an outstanding lead actress.
She is a knockout, and she is brutal. And it's just it's kind of an oddball, almost comedic assassin thing. It's good. Ain't very English. It's BBC. Yeah.
And lead actor in a drama went to Billy Porter from Pose.
I don't know anything
it's
about
the
that.
FX drama. Kind of the, I think set in the 80s.
Okay.
Sort of the voguing trend where gay men could get together and have these dance parties in a place they felt safe. So, yeah, Billy Porter's become kind of iconic in the fashion world, and there was a huge ovation for him when he won. So the people seemed to be very happy for this. But I have not seen the show. And outstanding drama seemed a little bit of an upset. Game of Thrones won the whole shebang. Again, it's sort of that Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
we're kind of nominating you for the whole series, not just this last thing. But they did throughout the whole show. They Veep, Game of Thrones, and a couple like the shows that are ending this year or had ended this year. They kind of celebrated the passing of some of these classic shows. Big Bang Theory. They mentioned Gotham because the show's on Fox. Like, go on, get Gotham, way to go.
Wow. Yeah, that's on the same level. Jeez.
So, I don't know. It wasn't a surprise, but then again, all I heard was negativity about this last season. So, maybe it'll go down in history a little kinder than when people were watching it live, maybe.
Well, Big Brother ended and Survivor started, as is the tradition. Always happens on the same night. Big Brother ended. The guy that had dominated the second half of the game won. Nobody could stop him. The competitions had changed from how they've been the entire run of the show. The last couple years, they've even from last year has changed. It's went from like a very low percentage of physical competitions at the end into almost to the majority of it being physical. So, which is a big mistake because nobody wants to watch a show where one person wins everything. Mm-hmm. They want it to always be a chance of anybody being able at any time. And this guy just dominated. Won most of the competitions down the stretch. Made a couple really great moves to keep his partner in it, and he ended up winning the whole thing. But it was the most somber victory because it had one of the best pre-jury segments I've ever seen, where once everyone from the jury, because like the last 9 people before the final 3 or before the final 2 get to vote, and they've been sequestered. So they all vote, then they come out and they get questioned, and then they also bring out the pre-jury, all the people that have been out of the house, out in the real world and everything, that have got to see the show. And
I thought they were all sequestered. I thought they weren't allowed to watch.
No, the first 7 people or 6 or 7 people have just been out in the world. And if you recall, we talked about how those first 6 or 7 people, this guy that won, he, in the very first competition, he became the camp master. That was kind of the theme or whatever, some campground theme. And he put these people in like their own little sequester in the house. And he had one reason, but it looked bad because he picked all the people, of different descent. And they kind of called him out on it on this finale. And he also said a lot of things that weren't shown on the show that were a little racist. And so when he came, all he talked about on the show was how he wanted that confetti when he came out.
Is he canceled?
I don't know. I think he just needs to look at what he did, and I'm sure he'll apologize. But he got the confetti, but he had the saddest face when he came out because he knew he was really worried about what his parents were going to think because he had said some stuff. But he wanted $500,000, so I'm sure that will soothe those open wounds. It's a good, pretty good season. Survivor started. It was pretty good beginning. I'm looking forward to that season.
What have I watched?
Well, it is fall time, so some of our favorite shows have restarted.
That's right. So the first thing I watched this week was the episode 1 of the new season of This Is Us.
I watched it. Because I knew you would have watched it.
I know. Well, my wife.
I work with all girls.
Yeah.
So I have to watch This Is Us, so I know what to
How many hankies did you get?
Well, I didn't know what the hell was going on there for a little while because
I knew that's what Cliff was going to say. I stopped it when they went to the war. And I was like, okay, I'm not in the mood or something in this moment. I know these people are going to be somebody. Right. That show is all about that's one. It is good for the fact that it jumps around in time.
Yeah.
And they do things to mess with you. Like, what time is this? Mm-hmm. They'll put like a computer in there, and you're like, okay, when is this computer from? So I do like that part of it, trying to figure out who people are.
But this episode had all these new characters that we did not know who they were.
Yeah.
And there's one in particular that I think most of us thought, oh, how in the world is this?
You can totally spoil it first off because don't worry about it all.
Yeah, so we're introduced to a character who is blind, We have no idea who the guy is. He's living by himself.
I feel like I've seen
in
him
an
before
apartment.
though, because I knew that he could sing. Like I feel like I'd seen like
in
he
something
must-
else.
Yeah, I must have seen him sing in something else, but
Yeah, and he meets a waitress at a restaurant, and we see like a little time moves forward, and we see they're living together, and they have he proposes and all this stuff.
but
For
you
the
don't
life
see
of me-
anything to tell when this was.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So it
feels
had-
like present.
Yeah, it does, and it totally had me thrown off until it's eventually revealed that his name is Jack, and he is the son. Well, he would be the grandson of Jack, the patriarch of the family.
Rocky's son.
Future.
Yeah, so he is he's in the future.
He would be
Jack.
Rocky Balboa's great grandson if we were following the Rocky Five timeline.
Right.
We're gonna need some Westworld timeline.
Yeah. So I think that was the big reveal of it all.
Because
Because
this would be in like 2045 or something.
Right,
It's
yeah.
so far in the future.
yeah, he's all grown, and then
He's
you know,
like, and at the end, he like is. I thought he was going to come out and be a comedian.
yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen.
I mean, because they were saying something about his sense of humor and his dad's funny, and I was like,
Right.
he's going to come out. He comes out on stage, and I'm like, he's going to give a comedian performance, and he sings. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this guy sing before.
Yeah, so the last episode of last season, we see him born.
Yeah, that was it. In our timeline, he's just born, so
Yeah.
it was weird to see.
Yeah.
So far in the future. So I don't even know what they're going to do with that. Skip all that.
Okay.
The girl from House. There's there's two people. We had Omar Epps from House.
Yep.
And then whatever her name is from House.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. The
I know who
blonde.
yeah.
Not Olivia Wilde, the other girl.
Right.
And she's in the army or something.
Yeah.
And she's
a
got
Mar-
PTSD.
Was she a Marine?
Yeah, something.
I think. But anyway, yes.
She's got PTSD,
yes.
and so she's got this terrible life. She hit her kid, but just because she's got
Right.
PTSD, and
Having
stuff.
a flashback.
But we don't know who she is, right?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say it'd be odd that I felt like maybe I missed it, but then I thought no, they just haven't revealed yet.
Well, even the Omar Epps, his family, it
Right. So
confused me. His son, who is like a very young teenager, at least he looks it, and they have this little baby, and the baby belongs to him, which I thought the baby belonged to Omar Epps. So that little twist there.
It's Omar Epps' grandson, and now this guy's gonna date Deja.
Deja, the adopted daughter.
Sterling's whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that probably doesn't matter. I don't know. But that's the fun of the show.
That's the fun.
That's the fun for any husbands or guys that have to watch the show.
How are they going to tie
trying
it
to
in?
figure this stuff out because we don't really care about a lot of the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Just keep telling yourself. NBC also started season 5 of Superstore.
Oh man, so
one
good.
of our favorites around here.
Yep, we love it. And I said before this, I haven't got to watch it yet because I
Just
wait.
spoil it, Cliff.
And
He
watch
wants
it
you
with
to
my
spoil it.
son. We're gonna watch it tonight, so stop talking about it.
But last season left on a cliffhanger.
You can say that. How did it end? How did last
pretty much
season
a
end? I don't
downer.
remember.
Oh yeah, the corporate sent in ICE to do a raid on their employees of anybody that was undocumented.
Mateo got caught,
and they catch Mateo and haul him off to a detention center.
So the show ends with one of the main characters being hauled away by ICE.
Yeah, it took it seriously.
Laugh right.
And it was like I went back today and I rewatched that episode before I watched the new episode, and I was like, and I kind of forgot. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot like what a downer this was.
But I did see a couple weeks ago there was a commercial for it, like the upcoming season, and it's on Thursdays at 8, and it made specific reference to like these are the new nerds on Thursday night, basically saying Big Bang Theory's over, come watch Superstore now. Yeah. Like saying we're nerdy too. Like it was a strange kind of commercial, but it also kind of worked.
I love this show because I worked and I was retail management for almost 20 years, and so there's a lot of appeal there to me because I can relate to it so much.
You got out before the robots.
Right. I got out before the robots. That's exactly right.
right.
It was a really good episode. I really liked how they handled the Mateo thing.
They didn't make a joke of it, but it didn't become overly dramatic.
Yeah, but they handled it very well, and how it's a silly show, but how they related it to, these things really happen, and how there's a scene where he's describing the conditions that he's living in the detention center, and they didn't go too far with it, like, oh, this is just horrible, and tried to make they didn't just fat-fist it, political statement,
dink
dink dink
political.
But they
humanized it. It's like, here is a person, these are actual people being held in these places, and here's one of their stories. So
I really enjoyed this episode. It had a lot of stuff going on, but it was still funny. We love the characters that they will show in the background, and immediately the guy with the bloody arm, and he's like shopping for Band-Aid, holding his arm up in the air, and it's just gushing. He's got a serious injury. I love that stuff.
Did we sell out a jetpack?
Yeah.
All right, so we also. You always love the Goldbergs, that new season of that.
Yeah, so I had high hopes for the Goldbergs vacation episode. They paid tribute to the 1983 National Lampoon's Vacation.
Did they make an 80s reference?
They made an 80s reference.
Yeah. I maybe not so hot take. Mm-hmm. The Goldbergs is terrible.
Yeah,
I liked it for 3 seasons.
I was on board with.
I've seen every episode. I can't stop watching it if it's on, and I hate it. Like, it's terrible. It is seriously awful. Yeah, and I really liked it the first 2 seasons.
And the kid's like well through puberty now, I assume. He's probably like 18 or something.
Yeah, it's really lost the charm of it. Except for the guy that plays Barry. I still love Barry. He's the only reason I watch it.
He's become a caricature of himself.
I know, but it's the only thing I still have from that
it's
show.
Just, I
did you watch it? So you watched this episode? Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. So not enough
Even
Disney.
A vacation reference couldn't.
Yeah, Christy Brinkley and everything.
Right. I was hoping for more Disney, but it just.
They had Anthony Michael Hall in there.
Yeah, that was great. Had a cameo and played the John Candy role. So
it just is. It does exactly what you think it's going to do every time now.
All right, over on cable, we had the return of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Wednesdays at 10 on FXX. This is season 14 of the show, tying it with The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet for the longest-running live-action show in history.
Wow. The Nelsons.
Yeah, so Ozzie and Harriet had like 400 and some episodes, and Sunny is barely over 100, so it's nowhere close in the quantity, but as far as years gone.
We never got to mention Ozzie and Harriet on the show. I don't think they had much of a theme, maybe. Had Ricky Nelson, and then
the other one.
Well, no, he had the twins. He had twins.
Yeah, Gunnar and
yeah.
We're done. What?
No
more brackets. We can't start a new bracket.
Talking about. Oh,
we also had South Park back for season 23.
Wow.
Also dealing with illegal immigration.
I thought you were going to say robots.
They'll be here's a robot before the season's over. But it had the episode was called Mexican Joker. It was basically Cartman learns, he sees a family get called, an ICE raid takes a family away, and he realizes, wait, you just have to call ICE and they'll take somebody away? So he calls them on Kyle.
That's the lesson he learned.
He calls them on Kyle. It's like, something suspicious going on with the Broflovskis. So they take Kyle, put him away, and it's little Kyle and all these Latino children. And the guards realize, wait, what's your name? Broflovski? And he's like, wait, are you Jewish? It's like, we can't have a Jew. We can't have a Jewish kid here. That'll look racist. That'll look bad in a camp. So yeah, again, hot button issues. South Park is has a take on the news like always. And right after that, a new season of Crank Yankers.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, but
it's back. There's new episodes of Crank Yankers, which I never thought I would say.
Why wouldn't there be?
It's Carolla, Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel, a lot of the same people.
What?
Tracy Morgan doing a voice. It had several celebrities.
Give us the premise of Crankakers.
It is people making prank phone calls to unsuspecting people, and then they reenact them with these puppets.
Yeah.
And it seems I read a review today that said this idea seemed old when it was going on in 2005 or whatever it was. It seemed like kind of quaint and out of date, and now it just seems like it was on 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it bad?
It wasn't great, but I don't know. The original was never great. I never watched a ton of
occasionally
it.
something like. It's more something I would only watch the ones that somebody said were really great or something, you know.
Or you just watch for a few minutes, watch one little bit, and then keep.
I like the idea
searching.
of it.
It was that seems like a show that I would have loved when I was like 21.
You know a show I don't get?
What?
The number one show that I don't get. I'm trying to think of the name of it. But it's hugely popular. I've heard multiple people say they love it. They love it. It's a tradition to watch it. It's that freaking prank show.
Oh, Impractical Jokers.
Yes.
I don't get that at all.
I hate it.
That's been on a long time.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It kind of was the flagship show of that True TV.
Yeah.
When
And
it
it's
was on
got that
24
Quinn
hours.
from Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mind him or whatever, but it is the most broy-ish show I've ever seen, and I hate it.
There's funny stuff that I've seen, but it's not. Yeah, I never make an appointment to watch it. But it's guys. Yeah, they have kind of like hidden mics, and they tell each other what to do. So they have to go into some public place. They're like, "Hey, tell her this," and if they don't do it, they lose points or whatever. So yeah, it's basically just dudes daring each other to do stuff.
Yeah, I don't dig it. Don't dig the dudes.
Well, if you don't dig the dudes, I'm going to go to the debut show. So we have the debut of A Little Late with Lilly Singh.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Taking over for Carson Daly on the late night of NBC, 1:30 in the morning.
She was the YouTuber.
She is the YouTuber with over 15 million subscribers, giving her own late night show. She promised no politics, so that there's not going to be any monologues about Donald Trump. They're not going to get political. But then again, every episode she has mentioned that she's of Indian descent, she's a woman, she's bisexual. So, saying she's not doing anything political, but then she's still kind of making a statement that I'm not like the other guys on late night. So, our first week of guests were Mindy Kaling, Kenan Thompson, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Chelsea Handler. So, started with some bigger name folks. And they gave her a primetime special on Wednesday, the week she premiered. So it was on at 10 p.m. They kind of NBC gave her a primetime spotlight.
Wow.
They had Mandy Moore and Milo Ventimiglia from This Is Us, Christina Aguilera,
from the
Disney legend. I mean, if you start your first week with a Disney legend, where do you go?
That's all down.
So it's not for me. It's a new generation. I'm too old, maybe.
Yeah.
But she seemed funny. She had the writing wasn't great. It was a little bit corny, but it seemed she wasn't doing jokes. She almost did a monologue, telling stories, or she talked about her childhood.
I have never heard of this or her at all.
We mentioned it.
Yeah, we
before.
talked
If you
about
listen
it.
to
I don't
the
listen to
podcast. When they announced it over the summer, we talked about it for a minute. But yeah, so it's a little different. She does some games and things, kind of like Jimmy Fallon does, and it just seems much looser. But I don't know, the comedy wasn't real sharp. But again, it's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I want Seth Meyers and some politics.
Yeah, you're taking over Carson Daly.
Man, I love Seth Meyers.
But she's very big and loud. I don't know if this is a YouTube thing or just a millennial young person thing, but everything's so big and whoa, look at this, and she's emoting huge, and you don't need to do that on TV. Our cameras are real close. We have high definition TVs.
Yeah.
She just seems to be
I'm trying to eat.
Nervous energy kind of thing.
Down,
but yeah. But again, it took Conan 2.5 years before he figured out what he was doing. It takes a lot of these guys time, so we'll check back in a little later with Lilly Singh. We also had the premiere of The Unicorn. This is the only sitcom I checked out.
I didn't watch it. I saw enough in the previews.
Walton Goggins.
I like him.
Gotta give him a chance. This is a CBS Thursday night sitcom. He is a widower with 2 daughters, and like a year has gone by, and he has no interest in dating, but all the ladies in the neighborhood are like, he's the unicorn. He's a guy, a single guy, but he's a responsible guy with a family, so he's the catch.
Yeah.
And I love Walton Goggins, but I don't think of handsome ladies man kind of. He can be. He's a charming fellow.
I mean, if you like teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
He's misbehaving. It wasn't bad. I don't know that I would set my DVR for it or anything, but again,
It's got a couple people from. Have you guys ever watched Ballers?
I know of it, but I haven't
watched
it.
all that. It almost made the theme song bracket, but the song is literally just a song. It's a famous song, but it's so good. But anyway, it has Rob Corddry and Omar Benton Miller, who are both in Ballers, are in this.
And Michaela Watkins. I think she was on Saturday Night Live for a short time.
Yeah.
Again, if I'm home and it's on, I wouldn't turn it off, but we'll see. Right after It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was a show called Cake. I have heard nothing about the show. I've seen no advertising. I know nothing about it. But I was like, I'm watching TV, so I might as well see what this is. It's kind of like short form, like short films and animation. Little comedic clips, and there's like a music video. The website described it as a handcrafted assortment of bite-sized content featuring a diverse array of narratives from storytellers both new and established. So it's just short little, it's almost like YouTube videos or something. It's very short, standalone things. The very first thing they played was pretty great. It was a music video, and it was a young woman rapping basically about her Friday night. It's like, I'm home, I'm from work, I'm off work, I'm in my pajamas. I get a text, she wants me to go out. I don't want to go. I'm not putting on clothes. All right, well, I'll get the Uber. And it's like her, and like goes to this party she doesn't want to be at. She's anxious, and like, but it was like lyrically like amazing. Like she was rapping like 100 beats per minute. It was incredible. And a couple little very trippy kind of animated things. Natasha Lyonne was in one of them. So it says there's some like brand new people. And then there's some, I'm sure they're probably, YouTubers or more known in other places, getting a chance at kind of a network try. So for something I'd never heard of, I think I'll watch the next one because there was a couple really good moments in it. And the big premiere for me, at least this fall, Stumptown on ABC. This is based on the graphic novel from Oni Press by writer Greg Rucka, artist Matthew Southworth.
Oh, I didn't know Rucka was writing it.
Yeah, he wrote the graphic novels.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was a comic.
Yeah. So
it sounds familiar, though, now that you say that.
Yeah, it's kind of a crime story. It's set in Portland, Oregon, starring Kobe Smulders, who is Agent Maria Hill for the Marvel movies, or How I Met Your Mother.
It just looks so...
it was.
Cringy, like, yes, she's such the rough dude.
Within 20 minutes, I basically decided it's like the network Jessica Jones.
Yes, exactly.
She's wearing a Ramones t-shirt. Her jeans are ripped. She's not taking anyone's crap. There's all this... she's having flashbacks to her time in the military. So it's basically... she's back home from overseas. She has kind of gambling problems, so she's in debt. So she's kind of a reluctant private investigator kind of thing. And it's all that. It's exactly what it sounds like almost.
Right.
But it has Jake Johnson from New Girl as the second lead, and he was apparently cast very last minute.
At all.
Yeah, he was cast literally last minute. And they just kind of tacked him in. He was in kind of a couple scenes in the first
that's right.
one.
He was like a bartender.
Yeah, he's a bartender, just like New Girl.
Yeah.
He has a lot of range. Had Cameron Manheim as a police officer and detective. And coming up next week, or coming up this season, it showed Donald Logue, who I love, plays Bullock in Gotham. And
you love some third string character.
Donald Logue is the best. Anything he does. Donald Logue.
Yeah. I'm listening. Give me something to go on.
He was Detective Bullock in Gotham. He had that sitcom.
Yeah,
I like this
on Fox. Yeah.
I could look it up. I'd rather you try to explain it to me.
jeez.
He was in that show everybody loved that got canceled after a season, had a terrible title. What was it called? He did one job at Donald Logue because he's the best. Although I can't think of anything he's been.
I do like that guy though. Yeah,
he's the best.
He's a great character actor.
What a guy.
I'm gonna see what I think of that sitcom thing.
I'm not looking it up. This is too fun. Good old Donald Logue.
Whatever, Donald Logue. You guys know that. The
Good
Jessies,
old Dink Donald Logue Dink.
The Jessies know who Donald Logue is, and they love him. But yeah, the show, the cold open was terrific. The cold open is two guys in a car, like sipping coffee. I'm like, that's kind of a dark roast. So that's a little bit bitter. Yeah, well, I think that's an Ethiopian bean. Like, it's these two hipsters, and then like you hear something from the trunk. They've got someone in the trunk. And you find out it's Kobe Smulders. And, like, she breaks out of the back seat with a fire extinguisher. They hit a bump. The tape deck kicks on. And some weird, pop song comes on. And there's this amazing, like, car chase with her strangling a guy with the seatbelt, kicking the other guy. And it was just, like, really super well done. So I'm like, I'm in for something great. And then the show just kind of became generic cop show number 7. But apparently, like, this seemed like volume 1 of the comic was the plot of this show. So there's only 4 volumes of the comic. So if they go beyond 4 episodes, I'm not sure what they're going to do. So it seems like they've thrown everything into it. I'm going to stick around for the second episode, see if it picks up any. But I didn't see, besides the actors that I like, and some interesting moment. Like, it took very familiar things and did some interesting things with them, but we'll see. Again, pilots are never the best, so we'll see if it improves.
Probably no Grounded for Life, though.
Grounded for Life! That's the name of that show. That's a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Guys, there's only one real reason I came tonight, because there was only one thing I really wanted to talk about.
Swimming in the creek, playing with a stick,
and I got caught
shaving.
Just 2 little country kids outside misbehaving.
Oh, man.
Now, I grew up in a little country church.
Run through the house with a pickle in my mouth.
And whenever we had, like, musical guests, or like, this Sunday we're having these musicians in, it was almost always stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like a husband and wife with terrible big 80s hair, like singing these really, really heartfelt songs that not very well performed. But this brought flashbacks to
those teeth.
Oh my gosh.
His teeth or something else. I caught up. I'm totally caught up.
Yeah. You on board?
It is such a I'm sorry, I can't think of the guy. Danny McBride. It's such a Danny McBride show.
But you know what I love about it is it's not all Danny McBride. He goes a long way with him, because we've seen him in these HBO shows before and in movies too, and he's always kind of the same stick. But this has such a good cast around him. It's not totally focused in on him. So when he is on camera, it's great.
I got news for you. I was not saying that as a negative.
Oh, okay.
I think he is a great writer of this stuff. Like, I would love to watch a behind-the-scenes thing. I would just like to watch him writing this stuff, because you can tell it's written by him. The lines he says and things... They try to think of ridiculous things for them all to say.
I think he's literally the only actor that could pull off. We do car pranks,
right?
And like make that sound like a thing.
He's like, he just shot at them. It's like, I'm just doing some car pranks with my friends. I loved Vice Principals. I loved Eastbound and Down. First off, and I loved. He was in This Is the End, I really liked, and then Vice Principals, that series, him and Walton Goggins.
I loved him in Land of the Lost. But again, I like him. I think I like him a little better in a supporting role, or an ensemble role,
because he's always unlikable. Like, you don't want him to be the lead, because you're not supposed to like any of his characters.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's just I like him in a more major role because I liked Vice Principals. I like him in that, and I like him in this. I just like that. Like, he writes so well for himself, and just the ridiculous things that, like, I read an article about them writing this song, and just talking about them sitting down and just having a blast, writing down the lyrics to that. And I love that he wrote this. He wrote the lyrics to the song. Like, he's very talented.
I caught an interview of him, and they had asked him about John Goodman, and he's like, I can't believe we got John Goodman. He's like, I would have never guessed. And like, it was a total joke to him. Like, yeah, let's see if we get John Goodman. And he's like, oh, he's never going to do
I need to watch more, like, some off-camera stuff with him, because that's what I want, is to see. I want to see that stuff where he's talking about this or appreciating it, because I always see him just being that character. And he always does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But he does it so well.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a good show. Good show. It's so ridiculous. And that song, they could just play it every episode.
Did we say the name of it?
No.
Who cares? Such show.
If you don't have HBO by now, you need to get hooked up. Spend the money.
Righteous Gemstones.
The Righteous Gemstones, Sunday night. It is must-see TV now.
Very good.
Don't let your kids watch it quite yet, but
no,
enjoy.
They'll be misbehaving. Swimming in the creek.
No, it's got what's her name? Jennifer Nettles.
Yeah,
that plays the mom. I didn't even realize that was her until like the third time I'd seen her.
Where was she from?
Oh gosh, she's been in a ton of stuff.
She was in that thing with Donald Luke.
Yeah, big hit.
But and the guys they have playing Jesse's or Danny McBride's character, his like friends, and they're so all
like they got commemorative coins of the time we did that terrible
we
thing.
Really did
we
it.
Did it. He's like just this.
There was a scene.
Get coins made.
There was a scene in the last episode where Judy, the sister character, she storms off and about joining baby Billy, and then she's running down the road, and here comes Jesse in his little golf cart, and he stops and talks to her for a little bit, but the way he delivers this, ooh, I'm going to tell daddy, I'm going to go right now, and she's chasing after him like they're 4 years old, cracked me up.
Well, we had the whole episode that was a flashback kid actors playing them.
Yeah.
And they still all talk the same. They've none of them have grown up, so it's that same sort of.
The gyms. It makes my bird twitch.
Oh my god, it was so good. Good show.
Yeah.
Hey, you suggested show on the coveted Showtime network I've heard of. On Becoming a God at Central
You didn't
Florida.
get my package, did you?
I got in there, and you don't have it anymore. I took it. No, they had you could watch the first 2 episodes for free. So I did, and it was phenomenal. And I'm going
good, because I was having a hard time describing it. So if you could help me for like the tone, I just kept calling it weird or the tone. Like, I don't feel like I captured the tone of it.
Yeah, I thought you did pretty well. It's kind of dark. And you kind of described some stuff I didn't end up seeing, but I was more like her just starting to get into that business. And there was, of course, a big twist that you did not mention that I was surprised by. But
that's why I didn't mention it.
I like that. That's what I want to know. It's nothing. But anyway, I really liked it, and I'm just going to wait till the first season's over and get a month of Showtime and watch the rest of the series.
If you get a free month, I hear it never goes away.
I hope. Anyway, yeah, I absolutely am doing that because I really, really, really like the first 2 episodes.
And it's been solid. I said I compared it to Breaking Bad. It's not that. It's not Breaking Bad, but it just had that kind of flavor.
She's great in it.
But it's sort of like already kind of softening her edges, where what you've seen, she's just dipping her toe into this, and like you kind of assume she's going all in and nothing's going to get in her way, and they've already sort of well, let's not make her too unlikable. And I kind of wanted to just go full. And again, there's still some episodes.
Where I'm at after just a couple episodes, she's just starting to get desperate. Like, she's trying to do some lessons for that one guy's daughter or something, and when she comes out and does this thing strapped to her and does this performance, like, that's right. That's what I want out of an actress or actor. Just all in.
Yep.
Do the thing, she was so good. Let me know if it's not worth getting, if it doesn't end up paying off at all. But I'm definitely interested in it. I wanted to watch. I was like, come on, give me that next episode. The last thing I would say,
streaming?
Well, last thing on TV, I'm watching Lodge 49. I know nobody else is watching that, but
I know Lodge. Yeah. I don't know Lodge 49.
Lodge 49 is that show with Kurt Russell's son.
Oh yeah,
and it's good.
U.S. Agent.
Yeah. It's super weird, very super weird.
What's it on?
FX. FX. Yeah. It's in the second season, about halfway through, and it's just weird enough to keep me interested.
Okay. You want to cut it there?
We're not doing streaming?
Do you have a lot of streaming?
I just had country music.
I feel like there's one thing I wanted to say. Okay. But if we don't have to, you can cut it there. We can stop there. I can talk about it anytime.
So, if you're not familiar with our social media, hit us up on Facebook. Just look up Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast. I feel like we haven't done plugs for a really long time. You can find us
might not be able to find everything on YouTube anymore because we had some songs on our TV countdown that YouTube was like, hey, dude.
Yeah, we haven't given up on YouTube, but they've put the hammer down on us for some of this copyrighted song material. So
yeah, but the last few episodes, for the most part, are still available.
Yeah, and you can find all that stuff in a million other places.
Yeah, like Google Play or Google Podcasts or Podbean. Yeah, that's a good place. You can click that little patron button there.
Is it on iTunes?
iTunes, absolutely. Apple Podcasts now.
Nice.
iTunes is going
everywhere.
away.
Anywhere you can get podcasts, you can find Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, that's us. Thanks. Bye, Jordan.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Started strong, ended the same way.
Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture
Well-oiled
Podcast
machine.
is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com.
Paws on the windowsill, swimming in the creek, catching crawdads and playing with the stick. I wore lipstick, I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving. Teacher says don't, but I said it anyway, misbehaving. Preacher said no, if you do, you're gonna pay misbehaving. Kicking and spitting and cussing out loud, running through the house with a pickle in my mouth. Playing in the street, look at me outside waving. Just two little kids out there misbehaving. We thought we was just messing around till we met that man in the thorny crown. He taught us that tricks and mischief leads to Satan. So from now on, there's no misbehaving. Mama, would you look how I've been good, now I'm behaving. Daddy, won't you listen, don't go missing, I'm behaving. I comb my hair and I brush my teeth. I make my bed and I eat my greens. I wash my hands to keep away from Satan. So no more tricks and no more misbehaving. No more tricks and no more misbehaving.
That scene between Baby Billy and John and Eli when they're arguing over Judy, and he turns around and starts like reciting the song. And he's like, and he wags that finger, I was like, oh my gosh! All right. Well, we're about hour 20 in.
Okay, well, we're still streaming. I guess. If you hate me.
I'm not going to be able to stop talking about country.
Okay, so let's cut it here. Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming.
Oh, you're going to do a whole nother episode?
Let's cut it there, and then we'll just go with that, and we'll make something out of it.